हॅलो. हॅलो. सगळ्यांना ऐकायला येतंय असं मी समजतो. आणि आता एकूण 5 लोकांचा याच्यात सहभाग आहे. तर मला असं वाटतं की आपण आणखीन एक 2-5 मिनिटं थांबावं आणि सुरुवात करावी. I do not know whether I can hear your voices, and either you will have to write on Telegram or WhatsApp or chat box on this live session. Whatever way you can tell me, then I should be able to. I can switch over from one mode of communication to the other. I have opened all three on my one on laptop and two on two other telephones, WhatsApp and Telegram. WhatsApp, YouTube, and Telegram. So somewhere, let me know if you are that is absolutely fine. If we are able to use both the media, let us say by which uh, we share some files at some place written down and communicate in both ways. Or if you feel that this is not good and we should switch over to Zoom, I will also do that. So please let me know. Answer somewhere. As language when all Maharashtrians are speaking to each other. मला शब्द हे मान्य आणि ज्यांनी ही कॉमेंट केली आहे मी अर्थात नाव घेणार नाही पण हे 100% खरं आहे. म्हणजे there is no denying the fact that if people want me to speak in language A, B, or C, all are clear to me. Okay. Uh, Prior to that, let me brief here about what has happened in the past so that few things which are essential for all optometrists in Maharashtra. There were few meetings done and few like we paid uh, to make this association successful. And people were quite busy probably, and it the headquarters of state association should be. Give you background. Association can be registered anywhere in Maharashtra. I could have done that. My native place is in Sangli, and I could have registered this association in Sangli, that is a district place, and still be able to, announce that the state association in thought that state association should be registered in the state capital, and so we wanted people in Mumbai to go ahead and do it. For some reason, it could not be done, and once uh, once it was said to be done, people like there's so many people who said let us do it elsewhere. Once again decided that no, it has to be registered in Maharashtra, and the seven people came forward and thought that let us go and do it in Maharashtra, in Mumbai. Uh, to register an association, we require an address of registered office. Actually, sir from Girgaon was very gracious enough to lend his address for this association. That is Kunda Ganatra a lot of efforts and did that. And we seven. uh, go together and shelled out from our own pockets to register an association here. My name Ajit Limaye. We have Amit Shinde, Madam Kunda Ganatra. Everybody knows she was president of IOA, Indian Optometric Association at that time. Mr. Mohan Hindupur, you all know from Lakshmi Institute, and because Kulkarni sir was busy, we had asked Pancham Kulkarni, his son, to be associated with this. We had Samir Ganu uh, and Prasad Sawant and Vidyut Rajav. These we all put together went to Mumbai, formulated all the papers. At that time, again, uh, WhatsApp meetings and other phone calls, and this everything was made. A detailed uh, constitution was written, and with all the paperwork, our 3 years IT returns, and this and that, we went to Mumbai. When we went to charity commissioner's office, we had some information and sort of introductory person who could introduce us to in charge said, let us not have very uh, tight. The constitution should be very loose, and the bylaws should have that kind of impact. Bylaws should be stringent, and the reason given to us was that if we want to amend any anything in the constitution, we have to go to charity commissioner's office and change, and then telegram that how many people available for this session. I have asked where, uh, few on YouTube. I can see a name of Madam Naina Saruke here on my YouTube chat box that she is a participant and nobody else. And I do not know what needs to be done. Okay. I can see seven people there. Just name as seven or eight, but I see only Madam Naina Saruke's name. So I guess there are people in the background who are listening, and though I'm not able to see their names, I'll go ahead. And so we went and wanted to. register. Uh, there was one lady who's inspector at charity commissioner's office, and she asked us to stay back, and she could give the papers next day. And when we went there next day, uh, she had sort of restructured the constitution to make it simpler. I have shared in various groups. I have shared that on WhatsApp. I have shared that on, I think, Telegram also, on various platforms. If you want, I can share it again and again to whomsoever we want it. And so the constitution was made, and we had printed Maharashtra Optometrist Association as the name we desired to have for our association. But they scratched it off. The name of the state cannot be put, and that's why it was taken off. We had also asked about Maharashtra being put later or earlier or in between or Maha. All the permutation combinations were given, but they just simply you get it. And then once we were told that this is the name, we Optom groups on WhatsApp, and the reason was we wanted everybody to know what is happening. And initially, we one group filled up, then second group and third group, and there are around 700 plus people who have joined to that Mahaoptam. But the difficulty was again, just I'm diverting from the subject. There are many people who are not from Maharashtra, and still they are member at that Mahaoptam group, but we cannot, stop people from coming. Anyway, to come back, the great difficulty in asking members to participate, to come in, walk in, was that we did not have any clear understanding of who can be optometrist. And so we started asking questions to everybody. And so we started asking questions to everybody, and everybody started giving us vague answers. Now, we did not simply want to, announce, send the membership form, collect the money, and, park the money in a bank. All the legal formalities for this association, that it is a registered, okay, it is a registered association, and we have our income tax department has given us that. With the help of the PAN card, we have also gone to the bank, and now we have our own bank account, and everything which is required for the association is ready. Who is an optometrist and who is not? If you ask me, uh, the definition itself is very poor, and especially in Maharashtra because we were very active since very beginning. Baliwala sir was very active in making people come into the noble profession. And so there was Municipal Eye Hospital, Kamatura, then there was Shankar Netralaya and by Patil. They came into this phrase. Uh, People like Amod Gokte, who had passed from AIMS and started practicing in Pune. They were the pioneers in going to JPMC school, and uh, there are so many other, small and large efforts which were made to make optometry very strong in Maharashtra. Because there was no university giving us any kind of, believe me, people had gone to each and every university. They had gone to Pune University, they had gone to Mumbai University, they had gone to Shivaji University, that is in Nagpur, they had gone to Aurangabad, and lot many people tried hard degrees. And those universities said, they simply said that we do not have this kind of structure and we will not do it. And so people approached YCMOU, Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University. They were amenable to things and they listened to. I would love to take a name of Dr. Shyam Ashtekar, who was director then, and he was very helping and Miss Prema Chande, who was looking after Lotus at that time, along with HV Desai, I Hospital Mirrors and all. We went there and tried to help things out at Yashwantrao Chavan University, and finally we could have a course in Maharashtra which would finally give degree from university. And because by so nature, Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University, means Mukta Vidyapit, is open university. People thought that this degree will not be valid. And few days ago, I think 2 or 3 days ago, I found a paper on their website which I have shared, which says that there is an equivalency granted by UGC to all those degrees which are conferred by Yashwantra. Now, though there is a letter, the draft of AHP bill, which is which is to come into force if it's passed, it clearly mentions that open university degree will not be valid. Believe me, 90% of the colleges in Maharashtra have had affiliation with YCMI. Then there were some colleges which were not supposed to be colleges also. You just pay money and get the certificate. There were also mushrooming colleges like this, and so there was a great difficulty for us whom to call an optometrist and whom not. There is also a debate of whether if I become a member of association, will I be able to practice like that? There are two separate things. I'm just diverting from the subject. That is for the council to decide. Okay, I'll just quote an example. Uh, Indian Medical Association is Association of Medical Practitioners in India. They have lot many branches in probably each and every town. There is a IMA branch. It is association and it has its own members. They have dentists as their members, Ayurvedic practitioners as their members, physiotherapists as their members. They have MS, MDs, DNDs, and MCH. But the scope of the practice depends on their degrees, their years in education, and the council says that a particular level of education would permit you to practice a kind of thing. Like MBBS person would practice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will not be same as uh, MS or MD or MCH or DM. He will not be permitted to do heart surgeries like that. Members who are diploma holders, degree postdoctorals, everybody can be member of our association. What would be the scope of their practice is for the council to decide. We are not the council. The council is determined by the government and not by association. We cannot have our own council. If you just remember uh, OCI, Optometric Council of India, came into fray by at lot many occasions who are self-regulated. And so let us not go into that. We should have association. Now, for things like this, that who can be member and who cannot be, uh, for specific reasons which I'm not able to speak now, clarity of thought, who can be a member. When because of this lockdown, that everybody is free, and moreover, we require Maharashtra Association to be formed and be functional for a simple reason that once the AHP bill is put through, we need to have a strong body which would fight for us. And that is the reason one of the lawyers said that we could have another association. But believe me, from that day on, I have asked somebody wants to go out and work our own livelihood. We uh, executive board members forward, and we are saying that with a few help from one week, we will send out forms. The association is going our art and science of optometry who have their own certificate, which means they're. But believe me, we are all. I think I'll end my live stream here. I am open on WhatsApp and Telegram so that you can ask questions. I will just share that draft on WhatsApp group and on Telegram so that you can read and respond. Thank you so much for this hurried sort of live session, but I thought it would be very difficult for me to type in. And thank you so much. I request you to be active on WhatsApp and on Telegram. Read the suggestions. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.